And we are live here on YouTube for the Pennzoil 400. Forgot how many laps this one was, but yeah, 400 here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Welcome on in. Hopefully everybody's having a good day. I am doing fantastic myself. And yeah, I wasn't able to stream the IndyCar race. They moved it up due to incoming weather front, so I was barely getting home at the time of the IndyCar race. It was a solid race, though. Kyle Kirkwood getting the win over Alex Palou. Getting to see Alex Palou actually look human at a road or street circuit is insane, given how inhuman he typically performs. So there we go. Alright, yeah, we are chilling out here, though. Hopefully everybody's having a good time. Oh, we are chilling out here. Alright, yeah, we're just chilling out here, though. Hopefully everybody's having a good time. Again, we've got ourselves, I don't know how long we have until the race starts. I've been seeing a lot of people saying 4 o'clock, but so we may be here for like 30 minutes. Go ahead and we'll delay ads. Yeah, we are chilling out here, though. Hopefully everybody's having a good time. Let me know who you guys think is going to win this race today. We got ourselves a pretty good one up ahead of us. Las Vegas Motor Speedway, hometown race of the Busch brothers. Saw Kurt Busch on the broadcast shortly before we went live. They were just doing a piece there on Kyle and Brexton Busch. All right, there we go. Alright, we got 4 people hanging out in chat, though. Thank you guys for everybody that's decided to snap a portion of your day. And yep, they're still doing driver intros. So we have a minute here. Starting 24th, Kyle Busch. Man, he's 97 races winless. Coming up on nearly 100 races winless for Kyle Busch. I hope he can break this winless streak at some point. Please, he's got to do it at some point, right? Alright, there we go. Yeah, we're just chilling out here. Hey, Dave, how's it going? Alright, we got people popping on in here. Again, we're just chilling out. Probably have about half an hour before the green flag drops. I hate how they do this where they'll say, oh yeah, race starts. Like, can we get the green flag time? Let me see if they actually if I can just type in. Is the green flag today? Let's see. Green flag time, approximately 3:30 Central Time, so approximately 3:10 Central Time, so 4:10 is the projected green flag time. Yikes. That is rough. So we are probably going to be here for a while we wait for this one to get started. Alright, there we go. There we go. Yeah, we're just chilling out here. Hopefully, everybody's having a good time. Alright, we're just chilling out here. Yeah, we've got probably. If I'd realized that the green flag wasn't going to be till 4:10, I might have delayed the start of the stream to 4. But yeah. All right. So we're just kind of waiting for this one to start here. All right, well, we are just again. We're just chilling out here again. Let me know who you guys are rooting for, or who you guys think is going to win today's race. We've got the top 10 starters on the side of the screen. Toyota showing up with some real speed here again. Yeah, 5 of the top 10 spots going to Toyota. The other 5 spots are split 3 for Ford, and only 2 Chevys in the top few. Hey, Trev, how's it going? Oh, hey, happy birthday, Trev. Welcome on in. Hopefully everybody's having a good time, and yeah, hopefully you're having a great birthday today. Oh, somebody just texted me to check the group chat. Give me 1 second, guys. Oh wow, Jim Ross passed away. Unfortunate. Man. Alright, we're just chilling out here. Hopefully everybody's having a good time. We're waiting for the race to begin. Estimated starting time is in about 20 to 30 minutes. Hopefully it'll be sooner than that, but yeah, it is it's a long waiting game here. Alright, there we go. Everything seems to be working just fine. Again, they're talking with William Byron right now. He won the spring race back in 2023, which is now what, 3 is gonna after today will be 3 spring races ago. Man. Seen Logano and Busch got in a little fight. Yeah, that was all the way back in 2017. That was almost a decade ago. But yeah, that fight happened after the two of them got into it back in 2017, following Martin Truex Jr. In the third race of the stage racing era. Martin Truex Jr. went on to win stage 1, 2, and the race. So yeah, it was absurd. All right, yeah, we're just chilling out here. Hopefully, everybody is having a good time. Yeah, there have been some pretty decent Las Vegas races though over the years. Bowman, I believe it was in 2022, I think, got the win here. Um, say today it looks like Toyota, at least in the short run game, is going to have a good edge. Oh, man. All right, let's see. But yeah, again, we're just chilling out here, waiting for this race to get started here. Double checking everything. All right, we're at 3304 subscriber count. Do all right. All right, here we go. Talking about some of the long shots. Chase Briscoe, the best of the long shots. Although Josh Berry, last year's winner, getting that win number 100 for the Wood Brothers, could be a good option going forward. We'll have to wait and see. And here we go. They're going to go ahead and do their picks. We did our race picks over on the Lapdown podcast earlier this week. That was. So they got Denny Hamlin is going to be Kevin Harvick's pick. Jamie McMurray, Clint took Christopher Bell, and Jamie McMurray will also take Christopher Bell. I wanted to, but I couldn't justify using up both my Christopher Bells this early in the season. But yeah, so there we go. So yeah, ultimately I ended up going with Denny Hamlin, who is starting on the outside of the front row. Should be a good race pick for me. But yeah, again, I realistically, my brain says I think Christopher Bell probably gets it done. But again, for race picks this year, we are limiting everybody to you can only use each driver twice in the lead up to the playoffs. So I got to be very careful with when I use my last Christopher Bell. All right, let's go ahead and skip around ads. Again, we are just chilling out here waiting for the race to start. So yeah, there we go. trying to think of so far, actually, early on in the season, we've actually had a pretty interesting points conversation. I was looking at it the other day with a coworker of mine. We were talking NASCAR standings, and SVG through 4 races, 3 of which are ovals. SVG is still top 5 in the standings. Now, it is a very fragile top 5, and we were actually discussing whether or not we thought after one more race if he could hang on to a top 10 position, which obviously will be tough as he's only 3 points behind Christopher Bell. He's going to lose that spot. He's 3 points behind Logano. He's probably going to lose that spot. Then you've got guys like McDowell and Buescher who are about 5 points behind him. He'll probably lose one of those 2 spots. Then it's like, okay, Larson, Byron, Hamlin. It's going to be hard for him not to lose all 3 of those. So, again, there's a lot of heavy hitters just behind him. So, trying to hold on to that top 10 spot in the points will be tough. I haven't seen where he qualified today. I don't think it was all that great. I think it was mid-pack. Okay, 17th. That's actually not too bad. Mars Village in 25th. That's not great. But honestly, the top and bottom of the top 10 looks fairly normal. Then you've got Austin Dillon, Zane Smith, and Daniel Suarez, and Eric Jones just outside that top few, which is a rough spot to be in there. But yeah, again, we're just chilling out though. We're waiting for this one to get going. It's my birthday. I turned 27, so hopefully Chase Elliott can come through for me with a win. Well, hey, I certainly would not mind seeing a Chase Elliott win. I don't think he's won Vegas before, so that'd actually be a new winner at this track specifically, so. Alright, so there we go. Man. I believe Richmond this year. Let's see, is Richmond happening? I know it's happening near my birthday. Or is Richmond happening on my birthday this year? Let's see. There we go. Like Bubba's chances if he can stay out of trouble. Yeah, I mean, starting position is obviously starting inside that top 5 is certainly a pretty good way to start, but it's gonna be one of those things that's gonna be hard to hang on there. We're just chilling out here. Hopefully, everybody's having a good time. Alright, there we go. They're talking about the grid walk being kind of cringy. So my friends in my group chat are talking about grid walk being kind of cringy, and honestly, I get it. Honestly, I don't know. Obviously, I didn't watch NASCAR pre-race as much when I was a younger kid. I kind of just tuned in when the race was going. But yeah. There we go. Alright, there we go. Alright, they're getting into opening ceremonies at least, so we're getting closer to the start of this one. Alright, here we go. And say displaying the flags. They got the police flag, the state flag for Nevada, and the country's flag. There we go. Hey Dominic, how's it going? So they're getting into the national anthem. We should be racing here shortly in about 10, maybe 15 minutes. So yeah, there we go. Well, yeah, we are just chilling out here. Hopefully, everybody's having a good time. All right, there we go. All right, we are set up and ready for this one. Welcome on in. There we go. All right, we're chilling out here. We got 5 people popping on in here. We should be hopefully getting the command to start the engines when they come back from this commercial break. Let's skip around to ads, and yeah, let's see how we're going to end up doing. Alright, there we go. And we're just chilling out here. Hopefully everybody's having a good time, but yeah. Ugh. I did not get to watch a whole lot of the Xfinity Series race last night. As I know I had said I was going to stream that one. Work ultimately, what did I think of the O'Reilly Series race? It was alright. As I was just about to say, I didn't get to see as much of it as I would have liked. I know I initially said I was going to be streaming that one. I did not realize at the time when I said that I was going to be working a 12-hour shift yesterday. All right, there we go. Clemens had a tough race, yeah. Yeah, I saw Clemens was around like three or four different times throughout that one. But yeah, literally, I ended up having a 12-hour shift yesterday, so I literally didn't get off work until about 5 o'clock, and the race was at 5:30. So yeah, the green flag was already out by the time I got home, pretty much. All right, there we go. Yeah, we're just chilling out here. Engines are fired. We are here and ready to go racing here. Man, just a little bit tired still, but we're here. We're ready to go racing. All right, there we go. Chilling out. All right, so they're showing some promotions for, I believe, flag football thing. Yeah, Fanatics Flag Football Classic next Saturday. What does next week look like for NASCAR? We go back east. I know that much. So we hit up Darlington for a triple header. Saturday, Friday. Yep, triple header. There we go. Yeah, I know. I saw Trev. I said happy birthday to you. Yeah, so we do have Trucks, O'Reilly, and Cup next weekend with Darlington. Then at Martinsville, it is a doubleheader, just O'Reilly and Cup. And yeah, we should be racing here shortly. Did I see the? Oh yeah, I saw the Biffle throwbacks. Those things are beautiful. Yeah, the RFK Biffle throwbacks are amazing. And here we go, rolling onto the track for the pace laps here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Welcome on in. Hopefully everybody's having a good time. Alright, there we go. Again, we got Christopher Bell on pole. Denny Hamlin do his outside. There we go. Okay, yeah, no worries. Yep. Yeah, I did mention happy birthday to you. But yeah. I would love to see Chase Elliott get a win for you, though. Chase Elliott would be a new winner at Vegas too, which is kind of one of the things I always like to see. Is I like to see some guys who haven't won here recently or haven't won here at all. Because like sometimes you get the same guy winning each and every year at a specific venue. Like to an extent, Christopher Bell at New Hampshire or trying to think of some of the other ones like Truex at Kansas a couple years ago, back when he was just crushing all the Kansas races. But yeah, Chase Elliott though would be a fresh one. I'd like to see Chase Elliott get that one. But yeah, the Toyota party up front is going to be a bit of a roadblock here. Christopher Bell on pole. Denny Hamlin will roll off from the number 2 position. Denny Hamlin is my race pick for the week. Then we got Ty Gibbs and Bubba Wallace in row 2. Yeah, there's Bubba Wallace looking to try and keep up the 2311's torrid pace to start the year. Obviously, 3 wins in a row to start the year from Tyler Reddick. Could not extend that to 4 wins in a row last week at Phoenix. But Bubba Wallace is here and ready to try and start the streak once again. Row 3, we are going to see Kyle Larson on the inside and and Ryan Blaney to the outside. So Blaney and Larson will share row number 3. Row 4 is where we find Tyler Reddick, the guy who dominated those first 3 races to start the year. Alongside him is Ryan Preece to the outside. And we got Chris Buescher and William Byron rounding out your top 10 starting spots. What happened to Briscoe in qualifying? Not exactly sure. This race has been a Hendricks race. Yeah, it's mostly been a Larson Byron party with a little bit of Bowman sprinkled in there. But Briscoe qualifying 18th isn't all that far off. I mean, it's far off from his teammates who are 1, 2, 3. But say 18th is just it's probably just a one. I mean, it is just one off lap. I wasn't able to watch qualifying, so I don't know specifically what happened during that run. There we go. All right, let's go ahead and give you guys another skip of ads. We'll go ahead and skip another round of ads for you all. All right, so they're showing the raising or dropping the right rear to increase the amount of increase or decrease the amount of downforce that is being created. Briscoe was a rocket last year in qualifying. Yeah, again, sometimes we see that though. I mean, I know obviously Larson's been pretty good. But we do see that quite a bit when a driver joins a new team. We'll see them spark in that very first year and then kind of come back down to earth in year 2. Alright, so there we go. Alright, so again, they're talking with Denny Hamlin here as we're getting ready for the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. I'm going to go ahead and recenter that. I don't think that's perfectly lined up, so we're going to have to go over here to double check. And wow, that actually looks pretty much perfectly lined up. Wow, I'm better than I thought. There we go. All right, so again, some other notes that we didn't really talk about in this kind of week that we've been in between races. We got the we have the 48 being driven this week by all yeah. The other ones the 48 is being driven by Allgaier, not Alfredo this week. All right, here we go. Green flags out. We are back to racing here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. I did not realize we were already coming back around. I thought the pace car was going around another time. But here we go. Christopher Bell away with the lead. Denny Hamlin going to try and chase him off of turn 4 as they get single filed out. And oh, Shane Van Gisbergen nearly crashes the car. Manages to just about hang on to it and get back in the line. But oh, we got more contact further back in the camera immediately cuts the battle for the lead. We've got Christopher Bell dueling it out, door to door, side by side. Denny Hamlin, Christopher Bell for the race lead. Toyota on Toyota, Joe Gibbs Racing versus Joe Gibbs Racing. A battle at the front of the field. Two teammates dueling it out for the front. All right, let's see. Again, Christopher Bell up to the top side, Hamlin on the bottom side. Looks like Hamlin has the nose out ahead, but as I say, Christopher Bell in that dirt racing experience, able to just wrap around the top side of the track, run that cush, and be able to come out a little bit ahead down the back straightaway. Entering turn 3, Hamlin able to get clear of Christopher Bell and puts the block on him. There we go. That's what we were looking for. Hope Allgaier doesn't kill the field like in the 500. Again, Allgaier is a fairly trustworthy driver. I just don't understand kind of benching Alfredo. Like, did they bench him for the wreck with LeVar Scott that Dale Jr. called him out for this past week? Because, like, if they benched him for that, that's a little soft considering, again, wrecks happen. But yeah. They just showed a replay of what happened with SVG again. He is trying to get back in the rhythm of things, but again, he does not look overly comfortable, so it's going to be one of those things we're going to have to keep an eye on here. Zane Smith jumps up into the top 10, and as soon as I say that, Elliott and Busch are dueling it out now for the 10th position here. SVG is holding on to 21st after that spin, so that's actually pretty impressive that he was able to hang back onto a top 10 spot, onto the edge of a top 20 spot following a spin like that. But yeah, so again, right now though, Denny Hamlin out in front of the field, Bell in second, Ty Gibbs in third. Kyle Larson's made his way up to fourth though, passing Bubba Wallace. Bubba Wallace has also been caught by his teammate Tyler Reddick. The 2311 car is going to try and mount a charge. That's 5 Toyotas inside the top 6 spots. Imagine if Briscoe was up in the mix too. You would have literally a lockout of the field here. The 97 scheme is so chaotic. I don't know. I haven't had a chance to look at what the sponsor is. But there are some sponsors where a chaotic-looking paint scheme actually makes sense. In fact, when I first saw the big yellow circle on the front, it actually reminded me of an old friend of mine's W Energy paint schemes on iRacing, back when he used to run with that sponsorship. And again, some of those like energy drink sponsors can be a little chaotic sometimes, and it actually makes some sense, but again, I don't know what the sponsorship is, so hard to really grade what it is there. But here we go. Kyle Larson all over the back bumper of Ty Gibbs. Gibbs is gonna have to play defense here. One, because he clearly does not have the same speed that the guys out in front of him do, and two, he is right now the only thing keeping Kyle Larson from trying to run down Bell and Hamlin here. Oh yeah, I wasn't saying that it was bad. I wasn't implying that you thought it was bad either. I just was looking at it as okay, chaotic. It can be good if done right. And there we go. Tyler Reddick passes his teammate and is going to try and lead his teammate around this track now. See if he can maybe help Bubba Wallace follow his line and maybe find a little bit of speed here in his number 23 car. Again, Reddick right now, I think, looks a little faster than Larson, maybe. Although Larson, again, doesn't have the same type of clean air that Reddick does at the very moment. Although Reddick will be catching up to Larson soon enough, and we'll be getting some of that dirtied air very shortly. In fact, he may already be close enough for the dirty air to affect him a little bit, at least. But we are working our way through this one. But yeah, there we go. So Cody Ware has dropped all the way to the back of the field. Ty Dillon to second and to last. Botsavara and Suarez both hanging out in and around the top few, and it looks like they are going to be sending us to a commercial break here. Yep, a partial, say side-by-side commercial break here early on in this one. We did the 45 and thought it was Kurt. Yep, yeah, that happens. I did that with the some of the other Monster Energy cars when Monster Energy started branching out from just Kurt Busch. Hey Renee, how's it going? But yeah, the IndyCar race was really cool. It was really cool to see a race in and around the Cowboy Stadium. The race itself was solid. It was like nothing too crazy, nothing too tame. So all in all, solid. Alright, so there we go. 15 laps into a 80 lap opening stage here. Alright, we are working our way through this one. Hopefully everybody's having a good time. But yeah, this top 10 again has looked very competitive, and honestly, one of the more competitive top 10s we've seen in a while. Certainly, I think it's giving us our best look at kind of who the top teams are this year. Because again, it's no one we didn't expect. We expected Joe Gibbs, we expected Hendrick, we expected maybe a little bit of Roush Fenway. I don't know if that I would have expected to see more Roush Fenway than Penske in the top few, but yeah. Alright, so they're back from commercial break again. We're just chilling out here. We're going to skip around to ads for you guys, and we are going to chill on out. Again, right now, so far, fastest laps of the day, you've got Denny Hamlin at first. Ty Gibbs actually having the second fastest lap of the day, and Christopher Bell third. Larson fourth, and then, Tyler Reddick's actually overtaking Larson there for that fourth position. There we go. But yeah, there definitely seems to be a difference in speed, and specifically consistent speed between Hamlin Bell and then the third place car of Ty Gibbs. Now, the question is, can Gibbs, if and when Reddick passes Gibbs, will Gibbs be able to learn something from Reddick's car? Because again, if you can follow and maybe learn some of that speed that Reddick has, say Ty Gibbs could be dangerous. It just comes down to how willing he is to allow somebody else to teach him. Yeah, I don't mind seeing RFK doing well. I've never been the biggest Brad Keselowski fan, but I've always kind of been a Roush fan. Obviously, being a Carl Edwards fan, I was naturally a fan of a decent chunk of the Roush team. Biffle was always a cool, down-to-earth guy. Matt Kenseth is pretty much the definition of calm, cool, and collected. So, yeah, I've always liked the Roush guys. Stenhouse is another one of my guys that I started to root for. When I branched out beyond just Carl Edwards. Yeah, and the reason why I picked him up as a driver was because he was a Roush Fenway Racing driver at the time. There we go. We got Joey Logano versus Ross Chastain dueling it out side by side for the lead. Or sorry, not for the lead. Side by side for position, not for the lead. They're battling it out for what, like 20th, probably. There we go. Yeah, Logano able to jump up in front there. And that battle was for 15th. Okay, 15th, not 20th. But yeah, but when it comes to the top 10, though, I think most of this is kind of who we expected to be good at most of the tracks this year. Again, like you've got your Gibbs, you got your Hendrick, you've got some Penske, you've got some Roush, and then you've got some 2311 sprinkled in there. I mean, that is basically your big teams, all your best teams represented at least. And especially when you look to Chase Elliott knocking on that door to get in, it's like, okay, further makes it look even more legit. But yeah, the mile and a halfs like Vegas definitely feel like the kind of tracks that start to lean towards, okay, this is who your traditional superstars would be, or the guys who are going to be doing well here. Mainly because there's about 7 tracks that are just like this one later this year, so we'll have to keep an eye on those throughout the race. Alright, so we're side by side commercial break. Hopefully everybody's having a good time. Alright. Man, Larson's actually managed to stick pretty close to Reddick after Reddick passed Larson. Larson's been able to actually stick pretty close, so. I like how this car races at intermediates. If only they could figure out short tracks and road courses out. Yeah, I think you just echoed what most of us have been saying about this car the entire time. I mean, like, yeah, the mile and a half racing has been insane. And honestly, this is something I've said about them for a while is it feels like whatever they try to fix, they break, but then they end up fixing something they weren't trying to fix. Like, when they reduced the horsepower at all the other tracks. It's like, okay, you were trying to do that to fix the intermediate tracks, and you end up making the super speedways absolutely insane. Then you go and introduce this next gen car specifically geared towards short tracks and road courses. It absolutely flops at short tracks and road courses, but it absolutely hits the nail on the head with the intermediates that you weren't trying to hit the nail on the head with. Which is also a big part of why we're going back to the Charlotte Oval, not the Charlotte Road Course. So there we go. We're just chilling out here. Hopefully everybody's having a good time. But yeah, that is definitely an annoying thing there, though. we go. All right, coming back from the commercial break, and it looks like we got ourselves a pretty good one here. Let's see. So again, Hamlin just ahead of Christopher Bell. Then you've got Kyle Larson, who's once again taking over Reddick. Because Reddick's actually slipped way back. Wow. Reddick slipped back from 4th all the way down to 7th there, dropping by Larson, Bubba Wallace, and Blaney now. So it seems like Reddick may have burned himself up a little too much too early here. We'll have to keep an eye on him as we work our way through. Man. But yeah, again, so far though, it's been Austin Cindric's on a bit of a absolute run here. Oh, Reddick's on pit road. Uh-oh. Did he have a tire going down? But man, Tyler Reddick on pit road here, 33 laps in. Oh wow, did Denny Hamlin just scrape the fence? Denny Hamlin may have just scraped the fence here, and he is now in behind a lap car here trying to get around him. It's like the number 51 of not Cole Custer, the 51 of Cody Ware. One of them and Cole Custer in almost a decade. Alright, so here we go. And yeah, here we go. Everybody else coming down pit road. We got Hamlin on pit road. Here comes Bell, Priest, Logano, hosts of our up at the front of the field. So again, a lot of people coming to pit road. Yeah. Okay, they were just short pitting. Yeah. I don't know if they were short pitting or if, because again, they were dropping a lot of spots for a couple of laps before they came to pit road. I mean, yeah, maybe you could argue that they were getting ready to come to pit road, but say. Now, I will say they definitely drew the rest of the field to pit road, because the second they were on pit road, everybody else that was in the fight at the front knew that, yep, we have to come to pit road. But I don't know if that was necessarily the intended plan versus just being something that they hoped would happen. And there we go. Christopher Bell going to lose a couple spots here. Going to fall in behind Reddick. And I do think this will ultimately work out for the 45 because I do believe they essentially did short pit, but I'm not convinced that that was the initial plan. And wow, the 20 got a very late notice about the 11 coming into the pits ahead of him. Almost ran his teammate right over, which would have been a really bad look. Yeah, well, again, that's one of those things. At a track like this, the tires do wear out quickly, so if you do pit, everybody else is going to have to follow you because of the amount of time gained by being on fresh tires. But we've seen it before where one driver pits because he's got a loose wheel or a tire going down, and suddenly every other team is trying to decide, okay, do we jump to pit road too? Do we have to make them smooth because him on fresh tires is going to be too good comparatively? I mean, we've seen it before. So, just something to keep an eye on there. But Very possible that it was intentional the entire time, that they were just getting a short pit, but there we go. Liana's finished 15th or better in 20 of the last 21 races. Not bad, not bad at all. Here we go. Again, Hamlin, Gibbs out in front of the. Will be back out in front of the field once everybody else cycles to pit road. Then it's Larson, Bubba Wallace in third and fourth here. Reddick in fifth. So you still have 4 Gibbs drivers inside the top 5 here. And Christopher Bell will make it 5 of 6 there, as Christopher Bell is right in there as well. Speeding penalties for Briscoe and Justin Allgaier. Speeding penalties for the 19 and the 48. That blows. There we go. Let's go ahead and skip around to ads here for you guys. And yeah, again, we got the 6 car of Brian Kozlowski coming to pit road. And that leaves Cole Custer and Mike McDowell, the only drivers who have yet come to pit road here. I'm kind of curious to see who ends up, who of these guys at the front might end up deciding to try and wait on the pit stop entirely to see if they can just catch a lucky yellow. Even if they lose the lead, they can at least hang on to some of the spots, and in particular the lead lap that they have gained. Because like, if you pit now, you're almost certainly losing a full lap. But yeah, 43 laps in here. We're working our way through this one pretty quick here, all things considered. All right, so let's see. Hamlin, Gibbs, they are going to commercial break. I'm going to run a quick ad, actually, and I'm going to use the bathroom, and we'll be right back, guys. Here we go. We got, right before I go and do that, we got Christopher Bell passing Bubba Wallace here for the 4th position. So Christopher Bell on the charge here as we head to a quick commercial break here. All right, we're back from commercial break. We are here, and let's see what we got going on here. Oh, Literally, as soon as they stepped away, we had a bot. There we go. There we go. Yeah, we're just chilling out here. We are 30 laps to go in this first stage, and again, Larson continuing to push on that back bumper here of Ty Gibbs, trying to force Gibbs into a mistake. Alright, so there we go. Yeah, we're back from commercial break, though. Again, Larson up there. We got, again, all five Toyotas have managed to maintain those top 10 spots. Chase Elliott up into the top 10. Let's go. And say our boy Trev, I'm sure, is super excited to see his guy Chase Elliott actually firmly up into the top 10 now, and will hopefully be knocking on the door of either Blaney or Priest here, one of the Ryans, to jump up into the jump up to 9th here shortly. All right, there we go. Sorry about that. Just had to mute my mic real quick while we took care of that. And again, we've got Denny Hamlin, though, out in front of the field here, just trying to storm away from the field. Briscoe back in 30th now. Oh boy, after that speeding penalty, that is going to hurt. All right, so there we go. We're just chilling out here. We got Hamlin again. Hamlin's continuing to pull away from Gibbs, although Gibbs is actually staying closer this run than he did to Hamlin on that first run. So maybe Ty Gibbs is starting to figure something out. Larson's still right on that back bumper, and Christopher Bell breathing down Larson's neck now for that third spot. Alright, so there we go again. We're working our way through this one. 20 laps to go in the stage. Hamlin continuing to work his way through these lap cars, just picking them up and lapping them as quick as he can. Let's see. How many lap cars does that put us up to at the current moment? He has lapped up to 25th place. Alright, there we go. Sorry about that. Got a little bit distracted there. Christopher Bell jumps up 2 spots there, passing Larson and Gibbs, and now Larson finally getting by Ty Gibbs, who has been a thorn in his side. Here as they are working their way past some of these, as they're starting to pass some of this lap traffic, coming up to Noah Gragson is Larson and Ty Gibbs. Obviously, as a few of us probably know a little bit about the drama there in the past between the between Gregson and Gibbs, although I'm sure some of that might have died down just because it's been a few years since the two of them were in the now NASCAR O'Reilly series together. But it is still something to keep in mind there that those two don't have a perfect relationship. if I'm Noah Gregson, I'm fighting for every spot though, because if I can hang on to that free pass position, I'm in a slightly better spot to avoid to get a free pass there. But yeah, there we go. Alright, so yeah, we're just chilling out though. Again, 15 laps to go here in the stage, coming up on 200 laps to go. We're working our way through this one, but Christopher Bell versus Denny Hamlin. The battle for the stage win is not over yet. And as I noticed that, we are not putting a camera on him. I mean, Ryan Preece is doing great. Up inside the top 10. He was top 10 in both Vegas races 1 year ago. But can we put a camera on the battle for the lead, please? 14 laps to go. 14 to go here. Again, Denny Hamlin, Christopher Bell getting overly close here. Can we please get a camera? This is not the time to be doing a stupid promo with the Ryan Preece team as they're prepping for the race. You have during commercial breaks to do that. Give us a camera on the battle for the lead. Denny Hamlin versus Christopher Bell. I want to see those two battling through traffic. The gap is now 0.3 of a second, so it is looking like Hamlin's starting to gap Christopher Bell a little bit, but come on. All right, so here we go again. And say, here we go, side by side. Hamlin, Bell, door to door, coming to the line. 10 laps to go. 10 more times around. There we go. This is the camera I was asking for, Fox. Thank you. And here we go again, door to door. Lap cars in front of him. Kyle Larson on the prowl behind him. Getting around the lap car, which is, I believe, Kyle Busch. Yes, that is Kyle Busch, the most recent car on a lap down. And we have got, there we go, Christopher Bell able to jump up in front of Denny Hamlin as they cross the start-finish line here. 9 laps to go. Bell back up into the front of the field here. Denny Hamlin to second. Kyle Larson still stalking in third. But there is a lot of lap traffic to deal with. Here comes Kyle Larson to the inside of Denny Hamlin, looking to try and take that second position away. So here we go. Kyle Larson on the bottom. Denny Hamlin wrapping the top line here, doing everything he can to hang on to that outside line. So there we go. Again, here comes Christopher. Kyle Larson has now gotten himself out ahead of Denny Hamlin. Hamlin stuck in behind a lap car of John Hunter Nemechek. Kyle Larson to second. Denny Hamlin stuck behind John Hunter Nemechek and will drop to the third position here. 7 laps to go. Here we go again. Bell out in front right now. Larson to second. Hamlin to third. Gibbs to fourth. Reddick once again dropping back quite a bit here. 5 laps to go in the stage. I mean, Tyler Reddick, you're doing, you won those first 3 races, and obviously you're not in a bad point spot, but every point is going to matter here when it comes to potentially getting that number 1 seed, and at this point, you're gunning for that 1 seed. I mean, you're not locked into being one of the 16, but if you miss it after winning the first 3, there's some bigger problems to address. And there goes Tyler Reddick down to 10th place, dropping all the way there. Christopher Bell has opened up a 1 second lead on Kyle Larson here for the lead of the race. Four laps to go, coming back to 3. All right, here we go. 3 laps to go for Bell. Bell 1.1 seconds out ahead of Larson. 1.5 back is Denny Hamlin. Hamlin still holds that point for the fastest lap run on the day. We'll have to keep an eye on that one. But at the moment, we have got ourselves a pretty good race going here. And there goes Brian Blaney jumping up ahead of Noah Gragson as they continue to work their way past the lap traffic. Noah Gragson way up to the top of the racetrack, getting well enough out of his way. And here comes Ty Gibbs getting all over the back bumper of Denny Hamlin. Going to start to pester Denny Hamlin for that 3rd spot. Ty Gibbs wanting to prove that he belongs, especially given some of the mud being slung in the court of public opinion between Joe Gibbs Racing and his former crew chief and former Joe Gibbs Racing competition director, Chris Gabehart. Also a former Denny Hamlin crew chief, too. A lot of formers for him. But there we go. Ty Gibbs able to clear Denny Hamlin for the lead. For 3rd place. But here comes Denny Hamlin battling back on the inside. It is the final lap. Christopher Bell out ahead of Larson. The battle is for 3rd. Gibbs, Hamlin, door to door. Christopher Bell, top of the racetrack, 1 through 3 and 4. And it is going to be a Christopher Bell stage win number 1 here. He wins stage 1, Larson 2nd, and it's going to be Denny Hamlin over Ty Gibbs 3rd and 4th. Bubba Wallace will round out your top 5. Byron, Priest, Elliott, Blaney, and Reddick the top 10. There we go. First driver to miss out on points is Chris Buescher in the number 17 car. All right, there we go. Alright, so again, we're at commercial break, and the caution flag is currently out for the finish of stage number 1. We have an 85 lap stage number 2, and then a final run of 102 laps to the checkered flag. Should be a good one here. Hopefully you guys are excited too. Alright, we are chilling here. Hopefully everybody's having a good time. Alright, I'm gonna just go ahead and let that ad through. We are good to go here. Again, right now, Christopher Bell holding on to that stage win while the rest of the Toyotas, especially Reddick, was fading. I want to know how bad Alright, so there we go. They're coming back from commercial break. We are chilling here. Hopefully, everybody's having a good time. But yeah, we are just relaxing here. Alright, they're introducing us to the crew of the number 5 team. Relaxing here. Hopefully, everybody's having a good time. Alright, here we go. Pit road is open, and here comes everybody. And by everybody, I mean everybody that's on the lead lap. Christopher Bell, Kyle Larson, Denny Hamlin, they're all coming down pit road. Chase Elliott going to be the other driver. They're going to feature Bell, Bubba Wallace, Larson, and Elliott on the 4-box special here. So Christopher Bell is the pole sitter all the way down at the end of pit road. Took a long time to get into position there. Bubba Wallace, a 10-second pit stop, 9.7 for Larson. Chase Elliott, I believe, also having a nice quick pit stop there. It is going to come out fairly far up the grid. In fact, Chase Elliott jumps up 3 spots on his pit stop. Meanwhile, Ty Gibbs drops 3 spots on his respective pit stop. Most everybody else just gaining or losing 1 spot or holding steady, like Christopher Bell, who comes off pit road in the first position, exactly as he came off pit road. There we go. We are chilling again, still under commercial break and under the caution flag, so you guys are not missing a moment here. There we go. Again, we are just chilling out here. Hopefully, everybody's having a good time. Well, again, we are just chilling out here. Hopefully, everybody's having a good time. Alright, there we go. Let's see. Oh, there is a regional this weekend. Okay. In Carbidia. Okay, and so it doesn't look like there's a live stream for that one. That's weird. Yeah, regionals in Brazil. Alright, well, we're just chilling out here. Hopefully, everybody's having a good time. We are just chilling out here. Hopefully, everybody's having a good time. Alright, again, we're just chilling out here under the caution flag. Again, no real major shakeups. The biggest ones being Ty Gibbs losing 3 spots and Chase Elliott jumping up 3 spots on their pit stops here. So they're back from commercial break. We're getting ready to start this one up here. Alright. Alright, we're pacing around here. We should be getting the choose cone here shortly as we get ready to go back racing. Hey Charles, how's it going? Hope your day is going good. My day is going pretty good. Can't really complain. Hopefully your day is going all right as well. Certainly not going any worse than yesterday. Oh, Denny Hamlin and Ty Gibbs both dinged for speeding penalties. Oh no, the Toyota Empire falling apart. During the green flag cycle of pit stops, Chase Briscoe got dinged for speeding. Now Gibbs and Hamlin both dinged for speeding on pit road as well. That is not what they wanted to see here. Alright, so yeah, we're just chilling out here. Here we go. Pace car's off. Christopher Bell chose the bottom of the racetrack as we go green flag is out. We are back to racing, and let's see. It's going to be Elliott Larson all over the back bumper of that number 20 car. Here comes Bubba Wallace trying to lure the 5 car up the track, trying to see if maybe he can get a nose out in some clean air above the 5 car. Meanwhile, that opens the door. The 24 to the middle of the racetrack. It's a Hendrick party at the front of the field. And Christopher Bell is just sitting there out in front, leading the Hendrick parade. Ooh! Bell goes up to block. Massive jump to the bottom by Kyle Larson. Larson trying the crossover move. Gonna get to the inside here. All right, let's see. Oh, man, that was exciting there. Here we go. Larson to the bottom of the racetrack goes. Larson trying to get a nose out in front, not able to get clear though, and Christopher Bell riding the cushion there, able to jump up to the front. All right, there we go. We're just chilling out here. Hopefully everybody's having a good time. Alright, so there we go. Again, Larson versus Bell here has been a really good duel at the front. It was pretty good down the stretch of that stage as well. And again, right now, Christopher Bell riding that top line, able to lead all these laps at the stripe. But again, we've seen that bottom pull through for Christopher Bell in favor of other drivers. It has been a very volatile opening it was a very volatile opening segment, typically favoring the driver on the inside line. There we go. Alright, so again, right now, here comes Larson. Gets almost clear. To the outside goes Christopher Bell, though, outside of 3 wide as Chase Elliott has entered the picture on the bottom. And you've got 3 wide for the lead. Larson, Elliott, and the Gibbs car of Christopher Bell. 3 wide off the corner. Yeah. And then you've got the and say, here comes the 24 car, giving a good push to the 5 of Kyle Larson. The 24 Byron now makes it 3 wide for second as he pushes Larson through. Alright, so there we go. Again, we're just chilling out here. It looks like Byron, after that initial spark, has kind of faded a little bit there. Alright, so there we go. Again, Larson, Elliott jump out to the front here. Bell rockets around the outside of Elliott, getting back up to second, but again, that battle for the lead has been lost as Byron gave that massive shove to the back bumper of Larson. Yeah, 3 wide for a whole lap. Yep, that it was. And I say, yeah, top 5, it's still anybody's race inside this top 5, that's for sure. Again, right now, Larson does have the track position and the lead at the moment, but Christopher Bell, Chase Elliott, all right there, ready to pounce. Here we go. To the bottom of the racetrack goes Chase Elliott. To the middle goes Reddick, and to the top goes Bell. They don't end up side by side with each other, but they were getting ready. Go ahead and see this one going. Alright, there we go. Alright, so they're going to commercial break here. We got Byron versus Reddick side by side for position there. Battling it out for the 4th position. Alright, there we go. Again, we're just chilling out here. We've got 15 people popping on in here. Welcome on in. Hopefully everybody's having a good time here today. As we are just chilling out and enjoying the race. We got ourselves a fantastic race going here so far. Certainly, I can't complain about it. But yeah, we're currently at a commercial break, though. 19 laps into an 85-lap second stage. Working our way through this one. 169 laps to go here. Goodyear saw that work at Goodyear Tire. Okay. We don't need a period between each word, probably. Yeah, so that's pretty much what we said during the stream last week too. Is that these teams are used to manipulating the air pressure so low, well below what Goodyear recommends, that it really isn't even Goodyear's fault that the tires fail. Alright, so yeah, there we go. Yeah, we are chilling out here. Hopefully everybody's having a good time. Man, it's really... I didn't realize just how warm it was out today. Man. Alright. Again, right now, Larson, Bell, Elliott, Byron in the front 4. Let's see, who all is on the lead? How far have we managed to lap up to at this point? The last car on the lead lap is currently Michael McDowell in 23rd. Wow. We have lapped a ton of people. Chase Briscoe, Kyle Busch, some of the more competitive guys fighting for that free pass if we were to get a caution flag here, which one, there's no guarantee we do get a caution flag, and two, you're gonna have to fight hard for that. Justin Allgaier in the pits. He is going to be multiple laps down at this point. Only two. Only two so far. Might be three. Might be three by the end of the pit stop, but man, Allgaier having a really rough day here today. Alright, so there we go. 23 laps complete here in stage number 2 so far. As, again, Christopher Bell hangs on to that second position, continuing to try and keep some pressure on that leader here. Briscoe up 9 spots from the restart here, trying to fight to get that free pass back. Austin Cindric trying to get back up into the, in fact, he is up into the top 10. Austin Cindric up to 7th, and he's now the top Penske as he just passed Ryan Blaney for position here. I say Austin Cindric having a really good run here. No doubt about it there. Here we go. Yeah, we got Reddick up into. We got Reddick and Benoit still up in the top 10, but those are the only those two plus Bell are the only Toyotas inside the top 10. We got 3 Toyotas, 3 Chevys, and a total of 4 Fords inside the top 10. So it's actually fairly well split. 3-3-4 split on the Fords. Problem is that almost everybody behind 10th place is also a Ford. So you're going to have a 3-3-4 split in favor of Ford for a while at least. William Byron has only led 2 laps in the first 4 races combined. That's an insane stat right there. Again, gave a great run to the 5 car to help Larson get out to the lead, but I'm sure he would love to start leading some laps of his own. And here comes Justin Allgaier back out on track, exactly 3 laps down like we were talking about earlier. He is on fresher tires, so I would expect to see him trying to do as best he can to run down and pass these front few guys. And considering 3 of the 4 of them are Hendrick teammates, I would expect that it shouldn't be all that hard for him because he should be able to have Byron let him by fairly easily since it's not even for the lead here. It's not for the lead, it's not for position, it's just for Allgaier to try and get one of 3 laps back. I would anticipate that his teammates will try and play ball with him. Again, Larson might not be able to play ball, and Bell certainly won't want to play ball too much because, again, that's a 1 for Bell. He has no reason to try and help the 48. And Larson, if helping the 48 means he loses the lead to Bell, he certainly won't want to do that either. But, again, at the moment, here comes Allgaier up to the back bumper of the 9 car. Michael McDowell did officially go a lap down, so that is a bummer to see. We'll have to wait and see if some of the other guys like... McDowell's now 2 laps down. Wow. Okay, he must have hit pit road or something. So we might have a couple of drivers who are racing to try and get laps back here before the pit road cycle continues. But a great round of pit stops there. As we're getting into that range where we might start talking about our pit stops here shortly. All right, so there we go. Alright, so there we go. Yeah, we're just chilling out here. Yeah, say 33 laps into this 85 lap stage. I would expect sometime around lap 40, 45 in the stage, we might start to see somebody trying to short pit and jump to the pit road first. Because the problem with short pitting in NASCAR compared to some of the, and specifically NASCAR at ovals, is that if you do get caught out by a caution shortly after you pit, you're now stuck a lap down, sometimes more than one lap down. Yeah, depending on how efficient your pit stop was and how short the track is that you're racing at. At a track like this, you lose about a lap and a half on pit road. So if you get a caution flag, maybe you get bailed out by the free pass it by the lucky dog at least. But even that's not a guarantee. So something to keep an eye on though. Because again, short pitting can definitely help. It just comes down to how aggressive you want to be on pit road. All right, so Hamlin up to 13th here. He has been trying to absolutely power through the rest of the field here. Ty Gibbs back up to 16th, so both of them trying to make a bit of a climb here. Neither one of them has been able to get back into the top 10 yet. I would expect that maybe Hamlin or Gibbs could be the first one to short pit on the with the new or with this new segment. I think again, Hamlin would be a great candidate here. He's got the speed to really threaten the leaders if he pits early, which will help draw the rest of the field to pit road. And two, I think he realistically, I don't know how many more spots he can gain by just powering through on the track before they would naturally get to their pit stop anyway. So that would be something to keep an eye on there. Again, as we've got as we've got this one coming even just inching closer and closer here. Again, Briscoe up 10 spots from the restart. Hamlin and Gibbs both up 8 and 7 spots respectively. Barry up quite a few spots here, along with Austin Cindric. Not bad, but Cindric has started to slump back down to the 10th position here, so not going as well for Cindric as it could have been. And there goes Brad Keselowski jumping up from 4 spots gains from the start of the stage. There we go. But yeah, if you're Denny Hamlin here, you absolutely can't speed if you do try and jump the pit road early. Regardless of when you do it, you can't speed on your green flag pit stop and expect to get away with it. But certainly not when you go for an early pit. Here we go. We're just chilling out here. Hopefully everybody's having a good time. Denny Hamlin around the outside of Keselowski, putting Keselowski back to 13th, and Denny Hamlin up to 12th here, trying to nudge his way further forward towards that top 10. Here comes William Byron, going to be the first to short pit here. William Byron, the first driver to jump onto pit road here, lap 41. We're right in that window. Right in that window that I said that we would see these first couple of green flag pit stops. Reddick as well follows Byron down pit road along with a few others. Ty Gibbs being one of them that jumped onto pit road with them. Logano, Chastain, Cindric. A lot of guys coming down pit road. Here comes Larson, Bell, Elliott. Looks like Blaney's going to stay out, but he's going to be one of the only ones. Bubba Wallace, Priest, Busher coming down pit road. Zane Smith jumps to pit road. So now your guys who are going to be leading this field are going to be Blaney, Hamlin, Keselowski, Hocevar, Suarez, Allmendinger. Yeah, Riley Herbst up into the top five, up into the top 10 here. Again, working their way through this one, but it is going to be an interesting one to see when they start to reform here following the green flag pit stops. Elliott with a nice quick pit stop along with the 20. Elliott's pit stop actually puts him in a little bit of traffic there. Not sure if that was intentional or not, but we'll have to wait and see here. All right, so here we go. 43 laps to go here. Let's see what we got going on. All right, so again, it's Blaney, Hamlin, Keselowski, Hocevar, Suarez, Allmendinger, and Herbst. The 7 drivers that stayed out the entire time up to this point. Everybody else is pit and cycled around. Not sure where Ty Gibbs got cycled to because we saw him come down pit road, but Briscoe and Zilich have also not come down pit road as of right now. But... Alright, here we go. Let's see. We're working our way through this one. Hopefully everybody's having a good time. Man. Ugh, 40 laps to go here in the stage. 40 laps to go. All right, so again, Blaney, Hamlin, Keselowski, Hocevar, Suarez. All right, there we go. Hey, Sarah, how's it going? Hello, Ryan Blaney. Well, Ryan Blaney, along with a couple others, jumping to pit road here. Blaney, Hamlin, Suarez, all just jumped to pit road. Literally, as I read that. Welcome on in. Hopefully, you're having a good time. Again, we're currently in the middle of a green flag cycle of pit stops. Hamlin, Blaney, and Suarez, some of the last ones coming to pit road. The last 2 out on pit road or out on track at the moment are Hocevar, who just jumped onto pit road, and Brad Keselowski, who has yet to hit pit road. Larson has made his way back up to second place here, only 15 seconds away from catching Brad Keselowski's bumper, despite the fact that Larson has an extra pit stop under him. And as of right now, Keselowski stays out. Looks like Keselowski might be planning to try and stay out and hope for a yellow to get himself back on the lead lap, because I believe he hadn't lost a lap when the caution flag came out, so I guess we'll have to wait and see what his plan is here. Maybe if it's trying to hold other people a lap down. But yeah, here we go. Yeah, we're working our way through this one, though. Bellini is stabilizing in the 13th position, and here comes Ryan Keselowski. Okay, well, I thought maybe he might try something a little bit more radical, but here comes Keselowski down to pit road, and that will hand the lead back over to Kyle Larson there. There we go. Love Todd Gilliland. All right. Yeah, Todd Gilliland's a nice guy. From everything I've ever heard about him, sounds like a really nice guy. I would love to have him on the channel sometime, but again, Ryan Blaney has cycled back out in the 13th position. And as Larson cycles back to the race lead, we have got a bunch of cars returning to the lead lap. Let's see how many cars we got on lead lap here. So right now it is 21 cars on lead lap, and that number is about to be shrinking because, again, Kyle Larson is really fast, and I'm not be shocked if he starts lapping guys like Allmendinger, Suarez, Jones, who are 27, 26, and 26 seconds ahead of the leader here. Alright, there we go. We're just chilling out here. Currently at a commercial break here as we're working our way through this one. Again, Larson, Bell, Byron out in front of this one. Again, Larson with a 2.5-second lead is going to be an interesting one to keep an eye on, but at the moment, it seems like Larson is trying to handle all this himself. Alright, there we go. So literally, you've got your front three guys that are within 3 seconds of the leader. Then Bubba Wallace 7 seconds back in the 4th position. Man, I've never felt like we really needed a caution flag more in my life here. Alright, so Darlington this Friday for the NASCAR Truck Series. Not sure if we'll be streaming trucks at Darlington. Again, it's just going to be it's going to have to be a game time decision because I don't know what my hours are going to be next week. If they're offering overtime, I'm taking it. Yeah, but yeah, it's just a matter of whether or not they have overtime to offer. Alright, we're back from commercial break. We're working our way through this one. 27 laps to go. Again, everybody's going to be just trying to catch Kyle Larson here. We're hoping that we don't, assuming that there's no further cautions, we should be done with pit stops for this stage. The question is, can anybody catch Larson? 2.1 seconds back is Bell. That would be your best shot to try and catch him. Alright, so there we go again. Larson out in front of the field here. Hamlin's still with the best lap of the day. Set that lap very early in the show. But yeah, Larson before pits and after pits still out in front. Bell, Byron, none of them changed positions before pits. Bubba Wallace and Tyler Reddick both jumped up a couple spots. Hamlin, one of the bigger movers on pit road, as he was one of the first guys to jump to pit road. And Chase Elliott losing 3 spots on pit road during the cycle of green flag pit stops. That's a little unfortunate there. Man. Most laps led Hamlin. Stage 1 winner was Christopher Bell. And Christopher Bell starting to run down Kyle Larson for this Stage 2 win. It's now 1.5 seconds back. A second and a half. We're closing in on this one. I think Bell's going to get there. The question is, who's going to have the power when he gets there? Will it be Larson or Bell? Here we go. We're working our way through this one. Bell doing his absolute best to try and run down Kyle Larson. 1.4 seconds now the gap as, they are working their way through this one in incredible fashion. But I don't know if, I don't know if this is going to be enough to get there or not here. Alright, we're just chilling out here. Hopefully everybody's having a good time. Alright, Bell's cut the lead to 1 second. There we go. Larson really starting to be reeled in a hurry here by Christopher Bell. Oh, man. Just had a big sneeze. But, here we go. Kyle Larson, he's been dealing with lap traffic here. It's now less than a second between Bell and Larson here. There it is, Bristol Motor Speedway advertisement. One of the greatest races. I love that track. And in general, the Tennessee area is beautiful too. Honestly, that is a place I could see myself settling at some point if North Carolina is not an option. Yeah, Tennessee would be a good consolation prize in and around Bristol. Oh, yeah, there we go. All right, Bell clears the last lap traffic. Now there's no cars between himself and Kyle Larson, and it is going to be a race to the finish of the stage. Denny Hamlin, Ty Gibbs, both been on the charts since the restart. Briscoe also up a bunch of spots here. And as of right now, Denny Hamlin and Ty Gibbs both knocking on the door of the top 10. Hamlin is in, and again, right now it's Cindric versus Ty Gibbs trying to get that third Toyota into that, or that third Joe Gibbs Toyota into the top 10. Oh man, I just stumbled over a lot of words. Here we go. Everybody's jumping out of line here, down to the bottom of the racetrack, looking to try and make something happen here. Tyler Reddick in 5th here. Reddick trying to find a way around some of these lap cars so he can start trying to run down guys like Bubba Wallace, unfortunately, I think it's going to be too little too late for them. And I say 16 laps is plenty, should be plenty of time, but there's a lot of distance to make up here. Meanwhile, Kyle Larson only half a second out ahead of Bell here, and it is shrinking. Say a tenth or two every lap is a little bit concerning. Bell is going to be right on Larson's back bumper by turn 1 here as we come back around towards the end of stage. Towards the end of stage 2 here. I'm going to actually double check my lineup, make sure I've got the right guy benched. Nope, I don't have the right guy benched. Who would be the right guy to bench here? Laney, I guess? Let's see, live scoring. Alright, so again, Larson trying to make his way around guys like Ross Chastain here, trying to lap him, but Ross Chastain doesn't make things easy for anybody, not even himself. But Larson able to get by him. Now it's time for Christopher Bell. Can Christopher Bell go to the bottom of the racetrack? Does get to the inside of Ross Chastain fairly easily, and it seems like once Ross Chastain lost the lead lap, he was going to end up... I thought he was going to give up without much of a fight, but he gets back around on the outside. Bell not able to stabilize there, and now has a lap car between himself and Larson that will make a mandatory distance behind Larson that the rest of the field can be, which will allow Bell to close back out from him. But here we go. Chastain back up the inside. Chastain's not done with Larson here. Here we go. And I say, as they take 10 laps to go here, 10 more times around. And I say, Larson doing the best he can, trying to hang on to this one. And here we go. Byron passes Bell now. All right, Byron going by Bell. We're going to start getting a lot of change-ups happening here at the closing 10 laps here of the stage. All right, here we go again. 10 laps to go. Byron and Bell, if they can just stop fighting with each other, they would probably have a pretty... Oh, no, sorry, that was Chastain that Bell was fighting with there. But yeah, if the two of them can work together, we might actually have a shot at catching Larson. Alright, so there we go. Got 111 laps to go here, 9 to go in the stage. 9 laps to go in stage number 2 here. Larson out ahead of Byron and Bell. Those are really the only two guys close enough to make something happen, barring a caution flag. If we get a caution flag, this whole thing gets turned right on its head. Man. All right. 8 laps to go here in the stage. Larson coming up to try and lap Kyle Busch. Jumps to the bottom of the racetrack. Trying to clear him. Kyle Busch right against that wall. Could not be more on the fence here. And manages to hold off Kyle Larson's advance at least for a corner or so. Again, Kyle Larson trying to get by Kyle Busch here. Here comes Byron as well into the picture. Byron getting a very good picture as to how blocked this one is. Alright, so there we go. 7 laps to go here. Working our way through this one. Byron all over the back bumper of Larson. 3 wide to the bottom. Here comes Byron. Byron to the bottom and clears Kyle Larson for the lead. William Byron just took this one straight up from Kyle Larson. And now William Byron is going to lead his first lap, and say some of his third and fourth lap of the season here as we're working our way towards the end of this stage. Let's see. Here comes Bell. Bell enters the picture here. Let's see how long Bell is going to take to try and clear Kyle Larson as well. Again, we've seen both Byron and Bell be very quick here down the closing stretch. I'm kind of curious to see if Bell can sweep the stage this year. Again, right now it's Byron Larson and Kyle Busch giving a good push to Kyle Larson back out in front here. Well, back out ahead of Bell. Byron's still clear in the lead by a decent chunk. And as this continues to go on, it looks like it is going to be Byron's stage to lose as he is running away from Larson and Bell right now. I mean, he is running right now, full speed. Hocevar back on pit road. Oh boy, that can't be good. Hocevar trying to short pit right before the end of the stage. Oh boy. Oh man. Uh-oh. I just lost a piece. Oh, there it is. All right, we got 3 laps to go here in the stage. And again, William Byron just running away from the field with a supreme amount of haste here. Denny Hamlin up inside the top 5. He is making some noise, but unfortunately, it's going to be too little too late here for Denny Hamlin to get into the picture. 3 laps to go. There'll be 2 laps to go this time by. And the question is, can anybody catch Byron? 1 second. You need to gain half a second a lap if you're Larson to get to Byron's back bumper by the checkers. And at the moment, I don't think anybody's catching Byron with that kind of pace. So, and then we'll set our eyes on the battle for second here as here comes Christopher Bell on the top side, looking to try and catch Kyle Larson here as they take the white flag. 1 lap to go in the stage. All right, here we go. 1 lap to go in the stage. Can we see Bell versus Larson duel it out for this one? Meanwhile, here comes the William Byron down the back straightaway. No, a little bit of lap traffic ahead of him, but not enough to really cause a problem here. William Byron through turns 3 and 4. Byron's going to win stage number 2. The battle is on for second. It's going to be Byron winning the stage, Larson, Bell, and then Bubba Wallace will be a distant 4th place. Rounding out the top 5 will be Denny Hamlin. Yeah, Tyler Reddick, Buscher, Priest, Elliott, and Cindric rounding out your top 10. Ryan Blaney, the first driver to miss out on points here in stage number 2. That is shocking. All right, I'm going to run grab some more water, and I will be right back. Alright, we are back from commercial break. We should be getting pit stops here at the end of the second stage. We've got 99 laps to go. Byron winning the stage, though, that was big. Again, William Byron being able to pull off that kind of stage win at the very end, definitely big. Let's see. Bubba Wallace also expecting his wife is currently expecting their second child any moment. So Bubba Wallace is absolutely going to be racing for everything he's got so he can get back to her. And he actually will have a standby driver, Corey Heim, on standby for next week's Darlington race, just in case he is needed in the delivery room, because he is not going to be away at a racetrack while he missed the birth of his second kid. I believe he did miss the first one, which clearly didn't sit well with him. And now that he's been a parent, he's like, yeah, I'm not doing that again. So I commend him on that. He's got his priorities straight. There we go. 10.1 for Reddick, 9.9 for Bubba Wallace, a 10.0 for Byron, and a 9.7 for Kyle Larson. A good pit stop there. Kyle Larson going to try and win the race off pit road. Oh, there's that number one pit box. Almost gets it for Bell. Not able to get it, though. Larson, Byron, Bell. Oof. Bell could not have been too much closer. Oh, wow. Oh, I didn't realize it was all the way down there. Okay. And I was like, number one pit box, not as big of an advantage here as it would be at some of the other tracks where you only need to go like 12 inches from the first pit box to the timing line. All right, yeah, there we go. Again, we are chilling here. Hopefully, everybody's having a good time. All right, there we go. Again, we're just chilling out here. Hopefully, everybody's having a good time. All right, there we go. Got our water nice and filled up. And we are ready to rock and roll here. All right, there's a big game here. We're getting ready for this one. All right, here we go. Hopefully you guys are excited. I know I certainly am for the finish of this race. Let's get ready to go ahead and get this one going. Oh, yay, we got a bunch of puppies on the on the screen because we skipped the commercial. Thanks, YouTube TV, for letting me see a bunch of puppies. Oh, we are just waiting for this one to come back from commercial break again. Larson, Byron, Bell, currently the way they will line up. But behind Bell, we once again have that quartet of Toyota drivers that started inside the top 10. Bell, Hamlin, Bubba Wallace, Tyler Reddick. The only one missing is Ty Gibbs, who I believe is still in 12th or 13th place here. There we go. All right, so we're coming back from commercial break. We're just chilling out here. Hopefully, everybody's having a good time. Alright, we're just chilling out here. Hopefully everybody's having a good time. Boom, boom. Alright, there we go. We're back from commercial break. We got 17 people popping on in here. Welcome on in. Hopefully everybody's having a good time. Again, we're going to be getting ready for this restart here any minute. And yeah, we will be covering the final 100 laps here, a little under 100 laps of this NASCAR Cup Series race from the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. We currently, I believe, have 95 laps to go. And I think we were just doing the choose cone when they decided to throw some other graphic on screen, so we're not going to be able to really talk about it. And they're talking about how 5 of the last 10 Las Vegas races won by 3 drivers: Alex Bowman, Byron, and Larson. Again, they have been absolutely crushing it at these types of tracks here. So far today, Kyle Larson has surpassed Denny Hamlin for most laps led. He just crossed the 61 mark. Denny Hamlin only 59 laps led so far today. Christopher Bell at 27, Byron at 11, and Ryan Blaney back at 5, the only other driver to have led a lap today. There we go. All right, here we go. Pace car is off. Field in the hands of Larson and Byron as we get ready to go. Green, green, green. Green flag is out. We are back to racing once again here at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Welcome on in. All right, so there we go. Larson going to jump out to an early lead here. All right, so there we go. Sorry, Byron. Oh, Larson dropped. Whoa, Larson had a little bit of a slip there. Drops back 2 spots. Byron takes over the lead. Meanwhile, Hamlin and Bell are gridlocked here, side by side for second and third. All right, so there we go. Again, we're just chilling out here. Hamlin gets clear of Bell for second, and now he sets his sights on Byron, the leader. As this Toyota Swarm is trying to take over the front few spots here. Ty Gibbs is back in 13th. Hey, HHH Motorsports fan or Motorsports. Okay, not sure what all the H's are, but as that we got Tyler Reddick dueling it out with Chase Elliott here, right behind Kyle Larson for that 5th spot. Chase Elliott's looked a lot better today. I know our buddy Trav earlier in the show was talking about looking out for Chase Elliott. Elliott looks good today, that's for sure. But we will have to keep an eye out throughout the race to see if this continues. Denny Hamlin looking for that momentum, seeing if he can find some momentum around the top of the racetrack. there we go. We're Ford. Are you referring to the HHH Motorsports, or are you talking about asking about where some of the Fords are? Because, yeah, the Fords did kind of disappear over that last caution flag. Busher, Blaney, and Priest, the three Fords we've been talking about, are right there at the very back half of the top 10, but the rest of them have kind of all evaporated away a little bit. We got Suarez, Gibbs just outside of the top 10. Then a lot of the other Fords, Keselowski, Zane Smith, Cindric, Logano, all a little bit further back there in the back half, in the front half of the top 15. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. But we are, as I said, this race has been a really good one though so far. 88 laps to go. Elliott and Reddick continuing to trade places there in the middle of the top 5. All right, we got 18 people popping on in here. Welcome on in. Hopefully everybody's having a good time as we are getting ready here. Again, 85. We're coming down to about 86, 85 laps to go here. Byron ahead of Hamlin, Bell, Larson, Elliott, the top 5. It has been a hard-fought contest all the way through. The only time we really had a little bit of a separation in the field was after that last round of green flag pit stops. After that last round of green flag pit stops, really the only guys in the hunt were you had your top 3 guys with Elliott, Byron, and Larson, Byron, and Bell were the only 3 kind of in that hunt. Everybody else was 5+ seconds back of the field, so it was definitely a bit of a gap, but the entire rest of the day, it's been pretty close all the way through the field. But again, Byron right now under siege here from the number 11 of Hamlin, all over that back bumper. Byron to the bottom. Hamlin a little bit off the bottom here, trying to get some of that clean air to his nose, see if he can take advantage of some of that. Looks like Byron fading up on corner exit, able to get the dirty air just enough in front of him there to go ahead and dirty up the air. Nobody out of the race as of right now. And in fact, we haven't had a... You know what? I'm not going to finish that sentence. If you know where I'm going with that, we don't want to jinx anything. But, yeah, we are... I'm just going to go ahead and say it. We haven't had a caution for contact yet today. Yeah, no worries. I was just trying to figure out what that was in reference to. But yeah, again, right now we've yet to have and really outside of that opening lap incident for SVG, we haven't even really had a close call yet on an almost caution. Like that, we had that opening lap mess with SVG that led to some other contact, but we haven't had a caution for contact all afternoon, which is kind of remarkable considering, again, how close this race has been. Denny Hamlin drives up, passes the 24 of Byron there while we're at a side-by-side commercial break. Bell up into 3rd place, again, trying to keep this one close, riding about 1 second behind Byron. Gonna try and see if we can chase him down for that 2nd position, but as of right now, Christopher Bell hanging on just behind Byron. And then Larson not far behind him. So it's going to be a fight for position here all the rest of the day. Chase Briscoe currently the first car 1 lap down. So if I do end up jinxing the field, maybe he'll end up getting the free pass. Goodyear 400 next Sunday, 3 p.m. from Darlington. That'll be a fun race. No official throwback weekend, but we do know at least the Roush guys are going to be paying tribute to to their former driver Greg Biffle at the Darlington race. If you guys have not seen those paint schemes yet, they are absolutely gorgeous. You should absolutely go look them up. But the Roush throwback stuff will look absolutely beautiful. But yeah, we are just chilling out here. Hopefully, everybody's having a good time. All right, here we go. We're back from commercial break. 77 laps to go. Again, Hamlin got that lead, and he is driven away from Byron. Hamlin might have finally decided to stop messing around and just absolutely floor it away because he's now built up a 1.2 second gap to Byron. Bell losing a little bit of ground to Byron too, but yeah, has lost the similar gap to Hamlin. I mean, he is just getting absolutely obliterated on the track here. Seems like Denny Hamlin decided to stop messing around. Turned on the turbo jets and just absolutely blasting away from William Byron at the moment. 66 laps led now for Denny Hamlin. I'm feeling pretty good about my pick. Dennis the Menace, he is looking good here in the lead of the race. 76 laps to go. Still at least one more pit stop, probably around the lap 50 mark of this stage. We will start seeing it, but Denny Hamlin starting to crawl up into that top 10 conversation on win count. Career wins. He tied Kevin Harvick last season when he got his 60th career Cup Series win. Only 3 wins away from tying his former teammate Kyle Busch on the all-time wins list at 63 wins. So 3 wins away from tying him. And then the next name after that is Dale Earnhardt Sr., a driver we are all way familiar with. And there we go. Yeah, we are just chilling out here. Hopefully everybody's having a good time. Alright, so there we go. Yeah, we're just chilling out here. Hopefully everybody's having a good time. It's been it's been one busy week. We got Hamlin up at the front, just looking for other storylines up and down the grid. Hey, there we go. Ty Gibbs jumps up into the top 10. Let's go. Ty Gibbs jumps up into the top 10, makes a run for that. There we go. Let's see. All right, there we go. We're just chilling out here. Hopefully, everybody's having a good time. But yeah, I'm really curious to see what ends up happening here. Now, I guess the other question is, and this is something that the teams are going to have to answer here soon. Do you try and go for 2 pit stops here? Pit once around lap 35, then around lap, again around lap 65 to 70. Split this stage up into thirds to try and get the most time on good tires, or do you cut one of those pit stops and run 50 laps deep? And I guess the other question is, if somebody in the lead pack tries the pitting twice strategy, do you follow? Do you then feel pressured that you have to follow them? All this and more, we are about to find the answer out too, because we are about to come up on lap 35 as we are speaking. And again, from lap 35 till about lap 45, I think we have about a 10 lap window for people to try that two stop strategy. Again, lap 45 would be a little bit risky to be trying to do a two stopper. I think realistically, it'd be 35 to 40 would be a little bit more realistic of a gap, but we'll have to wait and see if that pit stop does come to reality. Ty Gibbs goes and passes corporate teammate, almost said the wrong name there, Bubba Wallace, for the 9th position. Bubba Wallace drops to the 10th position. Again, Ty Gibbs doing an incredible job today, just driving the absolute wheels off this car. And as I say, he's had a couple of unfortunate incidents, mostly that speeding penalty on pit road that really set him back at the start of the second stage. But all in all, he's driven his way back up into the top 10, and yeah, he looks to have some real speed. It's just unfortunate that he doesn't seem to have quite as much speed as Hamlin or Byron at the moment. As Hamlin's been able to, between pit stops and his driving skill, has been able to jump all the way back up to the lead. Meanwhile, Ty Gibbs is just now getting back up into the top 10 and starting to make some passes there. So 67 laps to go. We enter the two-stop window. Again, do you want to two-stop it or do you want to three-stop it? I'm really not sure. My brain says I want to do it in one stop because I think you can do it, and saving the extra trip down pit road saves you a lap and a half. And I haven't noticed a whole lot of fall off from the lap times from the start to the end of a run. So if you're not having a lot of fall off, I don't see why you wouldn't just jump on board here. Let me see. Lap time. All right, here we go. All right, distance is 1.5 miles. Time, we have a speed. Yeah, no, I need a lap speed calculator. All right, here we go. So we got speed, 183.33. Distance is 1.5 miles. Calculate. Okay, could it be a little bit more specific than that? Oh, that's meters. 1 second. Miles per hour and miles in distance. 1.5 seconds. Okay, I'm leaving the time blank and 1.5 on the miles. There we go. All right, so we're at about a 2-second fall off from Hamlin's best lap to the lap time he's currently rocking. So as of right now, I would be I don't know, 2 seconds a lap. That's a lot. I'd expect somebody to try it. I don't know that it would be my favorite strategy to see someone try, but I mean, if I'm a Bubba Wallace, if I'm someone further back, if I'm a Logano, if I'm a Briscoe here, I'm throwing the Hail Mary at this point. I haven't had anything else going my way today. Why not? Come to pit road. We haven't seen a caution all day, so you're unlikely to get caught out by that. And 2 seconds a lap can really flip the script here. I mean, let's say you have 10, 15 laps before the rest of them come to pit road, and you gain 2 seconds per lap. That's 20 seconds. I mean, that is nearly an entire lap you would gain. In the time before they would be projected to come to pit road. I don't know. I like the strategy. I mean, I love talking strategy too, but this strategy seems like somebody should be trying it. I don't know who, but somebody. I'm sure it makes sense for somebody to try it. Somebody. Oh well. I guess maybe I'm not certainly I'm not the best strategist, and I'm not even at 100% right now, so maybe I'm wrong, but if I could gain 2 seconds a lap by coming to pit road and trying to force the rest of them to do so as well, great. And if I can manage to, if they are trying to do it on one set of tires, here we go. Blaney makes the call to pit road, and it's right about in that window. Oh, he overshoots them. Are you freaking kidding me? He overshoots the pit box, and Blaney slides through the pit box, has to back up, and is going to lose extra time. And I don't think that's going to be drawing anybody else to pit road. But man, that was an attempt here. All right, does anybody else attempt here? Oh, caution flag flies. Well, I guess I was right about something there. That maybe the right call there was to not go for it. Here comes Byron looking to the lead. Byron jumps ahead of... and yeah, there it is. There's the spin. It's the 88 of Zillage going around on the apron there. Looks like some sort of... He's got WeatherTech along the front. Looks like Jockey maybe the sponsor there, but hard to really tell. It's a weird golden paint scheme there for Connor Zillage. But caution flag flies. Now the question is, who is that free pass? Let's see. Who do we think the free pass is going to? Free pass appears to be Austin Cindric over Chase Briscoe for the free pass. Ryan Blaney misses it by 2 spots. Oof. That hurts. So, Cindric, Briscoe, and Blaney all were going to be fighting for that free pass. And again, Blaney was about to have a great run at it. Actually, oh wait, no, McDowell was multiple down. That's why I was going to say, McDowell had just gone a lap down. But no, that was him going a second or third lap down. Yeah, that was McDowell just having gone a second lap down. So, all right, let's see. Yeah, and the 88 just slips out from underneath him, slides to the bottom of the racetrack, caution flag flies. Oh, wait. I was going to say, who was that that jumped to pit road literally as the spin happened behind him? Because if that was a lead lap car and he managed to maintain the lead lap with that, he might have a interesting conversation on the hands here. I doubt that was a lead lap car, because I believe even if it was, I think it was probably tailing the lead lap and probably lost the lap doing it. Alright, so there we go. And we're just chilling here. Hopefully everybody's having a good time. Alright, so here we go. 54 laps to go here. Byron, Hamlin, Bell, Larson, Elliott, the front 5. We're about to have a really exciting race, because we're about to have a caution flag. Yeah, we're about to have a caution flag that's going to bunch the field back up. Everybody's going to be on the same fuel strategy, and everybody should be able to make it to the end of the race on fuel and tires. It'll be a stretch because it will be the longest green flag stretch of the day. Or, sorry, not the longest green flag stretch of the day, but the longest stretch they've gone without tires for the day. But we have not seen a tire failure yet, which is the interesting thing there. All right, here we go. Elliott, Reddick, Byron, and Hamlin being displayed on the screen for this pit stop. If Bell can have a good pit stop here, get in and out with the lead, that'd be interesting. Reddick with a 10.1, 10.1 for Elliott. Byron's going to leave with a 10.0. Come on, Denny. Denny Hamlin, can you jump ahead? 9.8, 2/10 better. Here comes Denny Hamlin. The race to the line is on, but Christopher Bell gets it. See Bell. The pit crew comes through. When Bell needs it most, Christopher Bell to the lead of the race. Hamlin second, Byron third, Elliott will be fourth. And we've got ourselves an epic race on our hands here. Oh. All right, there we go. All right, so the March Madness bracket is being decided at the current moment as we are waiting to see where everybody is going to be. All right, there we go. Sounded like you were calling the race for the win. Well, sometimes the race off pit road can be the race for the win. Just ask Denny Hamlin how that went back in November. Or maybe don't ask Denny Hamlin. Maybe you should ask Kyle Larson instead. Might get a nicer response than Denny Hamlin would give you. But yep, the race off pit road. The race off pit road can be really important though. And again, Christopher Bell's pit crew had let him down a couple of times here earlier, so we'll have to keep an eye on that one. But there we go. Okay, Briscoe must have just stayed out and not stayed out for the wave round because there's no way he should actually be up in the top three. At the very least, he took at best he took the wave round and would have to start tailing the longest line. And if so, he's going to be hoping for a caution flag here soon because he is going to need fuel and tires. All right, there we go. All right, we are chilling here. Hopefully, everybody's having a good time. Pace car is back on the track, letting all the wave rounds go. And now they will collect up behind him. Yeah, it helps that they got the number one pit stall, but the number one pit stall didn't help him earlier. That's the thing. And that's the thing I noticed when I was calling the race off pit road earlier when Kyle Larson beat Christopher Bell to the pit road exit is that the Vegas pit road exit is a lot further than at a lot of other tracks. Like Phoenix last week, the pole sitter only had to go about 12 inches to get to the line. But at Vegas, you have to go a whole 2-3 pit boxes length to get to that pit outline. So while the number one pit stall is still an advantage, Bell was actually slower on the driving portion, but it was that pit crew gaining him nearly a full second on the pit box, which allowed him to gain just enough time to beat William Byron off the pit road. So a lot of that comes down to the pit crew themselves there in this situation, getting a major win for Christopher Bell. Again, we'll have to wait and see if that major win translates into an actual win on the racetrack. But at least for the moment, Christopher Bell is going to have the lead, and he is going to be able to control his own destiny here for a minute. All right, so here we go. We're doubled up. Should be ready to go back racing here. Pace car runs for cover. Yeah, people call these pit stops slow. I don't know too many people that are calling them slow. Here we go. Green flags out. We are back to racing. And yeah, we are racing here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. 50 laps to go. Perfectly broken the stage up right in half, which is exactly what you would want if you were going for that one stop strategy, which everybody pretty much did. Blaney was the lone exception, but then he blew through the pit box, so he didn't even get to take advantage of it. So here we go. A lot of guys on that top side trying to roll the top. So far, though, doubling down on the bottom has actually been the better strategy here, at least from what we've seen in practice here. The top has not been all that great, but there we go. Denny Hamlin able to clear off the top. One of the first times all night we've seen somebody actually be able to clear from the outside line. And say Bell starting to contemplate maybe he should move up to the top. And say first caution for contact there. 20 lead changes so far today, and yeah, again, Christopher Bell right on the back bumper of his teammate, looking to the extreme bottom, a little bit below Denny Hamlin, just trying to find that clean air where and when he can. Meanwhile, here comes William Byron to the bottom of Chris Buescher here, trying to hold on to that fourth position. And yeah, right now, Buescher versus Byron for fourth is the battle we are focusing on. Chris Buescher rolling that top side. Looks like he might have a good shot at trying to get this one as well, but at the moment, it's pretty much dead even through the corner and down the straightaway. Again, usually so far tonight we've seen a lot more of these favor the bottom line, but again, we just saw Denny Hamlin be able to do it from the top line, so I wouldn't rule out Chris Buescher on the outside line being able to pull this one off as well. And man, Byron getting really aggressive on the side drafting here, trying to do everything and anything he can to hold the 17 back, and he does just enough to get clear out in front of Chris Buescher, jumps up in front, able to disrupt some of that air, and now he has a little bit of a gap to the 17 of Buescher, and can now start to focus ahead on the cars in front of him. Tyler Reddick way up the track, not sure what the cause of that was, but he and Bubba Wallace, the two 2311 teammates, side by side for the 8th position here, and we've got more drivers coming as well, so Bubba Wallace trying to hold back the drivers behind him, but again, he just had his team, he was just side by side with his teammate, not sure as to what the cause was there. But it looks like Reddick has cleared Bubba Wallace for the moment, leaving Bubba Wallace all by his lonesome to try and fend off both Brad Keselowski and Ryan Preece in the rearview mirror. 2 Roush Fenway Fords. That was actually the team Bubba Wallace actually used to drive for in the O'Reilly Auto Parts series back in the day when he was coming up through the ladder system. So yeah, there we go. All right, we got 6 laps into this run here. Take a quick breather. we're back. Sorry about that. I'm just trying to clear up my head a little bit. Hopefully not have as nasally a voice as I can. And yeah, we are going to go ahead and keep this one rocking and rolling here. Again, we got Denny Hamlin, Christopher Bell out in front of the field here. Elliott Byron, Busch are the top 5. Larson getting passed by Ty Gibbs. Here we go. I'm going to take a quick peek at the fantasy points because I know my parents are going to mention it when I go upstairs after the race. First thing they're going to ask me is who won the fantasy week, and it's my mom right now. Also, if you guys want to play in the NASCAR Fantasy Live game, there's a link should be in the description to our fantasy league. But yep, there we go. Oh, and my mom just dropped out of the head of first place, but let's see who is really holding my roster back at the moment. At the moment, it's Tyler Reddick in 8th. I've got all my guys are in the top 8, which is not a bad spot to be in. All right, let's go ahead and skip around to ads, and let's go ahead and keep on rolling here. 39 laps to go. 39 to go here. Briscoe jumps up into the top 10. There we go. Once Briscoe got back on the lead lap, he looks to have found his momentum again. Here comes Briscoe, right to the back bumper of Bubba Wallace. Gets to that door and just blows right by him. Man, Briscoe coming with an absolute heater here. I mean, great job on him. And say, for a guy who just took a free pass or a waiver round the last time by, had to start tail end of the longest line, and he already has rocked his way all the way up inside the top 10 to 9th. I mean, Briscoe is on a roll today. And so we also have 6 Toyotas now inside the top 10. Good on Toyota for getting 6 of them up there. You got 3 Chevys and a singular Ford being Chris Buescher. And let's say for 23-11, they've got Reddick and Bubba Wallace up inside the top 10. Meanwhile, Riley Herbst is unfortunately stuck back in the 20s. 22nd at the moment. So there we go. 23rd, and actually trapped a lap down at the moment is Riley Herbst. So Riley Herbst is going to have a really rough time trying to get back on the lead lap. Again, assuming there's no further cautions, I'm expecting we're going to see a run straight to the checkered flag. All 36 laps, I'm not expecting any of these leaders to need to come to pit road. Briscoe might be a question mark. When was the last time he was on pit road? Oh, he was last on pit road. Okay, he must have been the free pass then, because he was on pit road a lap after the other leaders were. So, and considering he got a lap back, he must have been the free pass. But there goes Chase Elliott up into 2nd, passing Christopher Bell. Here we go. Elliott versus Hamlin at the front of the field. That's about to be a classic showdown here. I'm sure these guys have put behind their decade-old rivalry from the Martinsville fiasco of 2017. But, yeah, again, we've got a little bit of history between these guys. I'm trying to remember if they've had any more recent on-track drama between each other outside of meeting in the... Actually, have they even... I don't even think they've been in the championship 4 at the same time. So, I mean, honestly, I think Hamlin and Elliott probably haven't had much history in between now and that 2017 era. But, yeah, there we go. We're making our way through this one. This race actually hasn't felt like it's taken very long. We're at about 3 hours. We've had 1 caution for contact so far. 32 laps to go. We're going to be done this one in what? Hour and 10? And say hour and 15 more likely, but yeah, we're going to be done this one pretty quick. In total, it's not going to take very long at all. All right, so here you go. Denny Hamlin out in front of the field. He's got the fastest laps of the day so far. And we're going to have to keep an eye on the lap times, see if Hamlin or anybody else can get close here. It's going to come down to this one to see what ends up happening. Average lap of the last caution, 240, aka 27 laps to go. Two of the last 8 Vegas races have ended in overtime. So that means we are set for the last caution flag to happen right about now. Would be about the right timing for that last, the average of that last caution. Now, I do think that the caution we just ended about 15 laps ago or so. Wow, now 20 laps ago, actually, for that caution flag coming out. Might be the last one for the day. Again, based on the law of averages, there is a good chance that one could fall in line. The last 3 Vegas winners have been Denny Hamlin, Barry, and Logano. So 3 in a row that weren't 3 winners in a row that weren't from Hendrick. That's actually pretty cool, especially for a track that we've been talking about as kind of a Hendrick-dominated racetrack. Byron going by Christopher Bell here. And then you got Christopher Bell and Chris Buescher lined up together there. We're going to have to wait and see if we can find anything. But at the moment, Denny Hamlin is just absolutely whacking the entire field. Great job on Denny Hamlin for the amount of speed he's been able to find in this race car. Because before the caution flag came out, he was also doing the same. He was doing a lot of the same thing where he was just driving away from the field. And, making the rest of the field kind of look like they were taking no notes there. All right, so there we go. That's pretty funny. Briscoe got pulled over for speeding on his way to the racetrack today and put a post out on Twitter. Hopefully it's the only time he gets caught for speeding all day. That a speeding penalty had him a lap down for the longest time here that he finally was able to break free from, and he's now back up inside the top 10, but that is pretty funny. Again, so far, though, Denny Hamlin out in front of the field. All right, so there we go. They're replaying some of Denny's communication there earlier from some of the radio when he was battling with William Byron. Byron was driving him a little bit rough there. Again, right now, Denny Hamlin coming up on some lap traffic here. The 51 of Cody Ware. And say, Denny Hamlin trying to find a way around him. Any way he can get around him will do. But yeah, right now though, this race has been a really good one, all things considered so far. And say, certainly, I don't think I have a single thing to really complain about with this race so far. It's been a really good one. I mean, it hasn't been the greatest race of all time, but 2 miles per hour faster than Denny Hamlin that last time by. Chase Elliott has the speed, and he has plenty of time to get there. So if he can just replicate that last lap that he just turned a couple more times, we might be able to go ahead and get this one going. All right, I'm up to 3rd in the Family Fantasy League. Let's see what we can do about this. So again, I would need Reddick to jump up a couple spots. I need Larson, Ty Gibbs, and Bell each to move up. So I need Elliott and Byron. Elliott and Byron. I need both of them to just kind of disappear. Buescher can go as well. And then Briscoe can go. And then I will have 1 through 6. That would be a complex situation that would get us there, but it could happen. Again, Chase Elliott continuing to try and run down Denny Hamlin here for this lead spot. Denny Hamlin continues to try and put lap cars between himself and Chase Elliott. The problem is when you're trying to lap cars, it usually goes a little bit easier when they're once they're already off the lead lap. So once they get lapped by Hamlin, they give up a lot easier to Chase Elliott rather than fighting for their life with Chase Elliott. When they're most drivers. Some drivers might specifically want to give Elliott a hard time, and other drivers are like Ryan Newman used to be and just give absolutely everybody the hardest time they possibly can. But that is a little bit uncommon, so we'll have to wait and see on this one. Alright, so again, we're working our way through this one. Denny Hamlin still out in front of the field. Again, continuing to try and lap these cars as fast as humanly possible. Keeping Chase Elliott. Now he's got 2 lap cars for himself and Chase Elliott. There we go. 19 laps to go. Again, Denny Hamlin driving away. He knows he's got to try and get away from Elliott. You do not want to give a hungry Chase Elliott a shot at a win. Because Chase Elliott will absolutely pounce if you give him a shot here. And here we go. Ty Gibbs looking to the bottom on Chris Buescher, trying to take that 5th spot away. And there we go. Ty Gibbs to the inside, door to door with Buescher. So Ty Gibbs to the bottom of the racetrack, and he is going to go ahead and he will take... Oh, he's not going to get clear of Buescher. Continues to battle side by side with Buescher. Gives him a fair amount of space. On that straightaway, I think you really want to be on his door trying to side draft him, but all the way to the bottom of the racetrack, looks like Ty Gibbs just trusted that his car had better power, gets the power down to the bottom of the corner, and drives right on by him. 17 laps to go. 17 more times around. Hamlin and Elliott are now within 1 second of each other. Now Hamlin has stretched that out to just over 1 second. So, again, that gap growing just a little bit here. Again, so far, though, a very good race going here. 17 laps to go. Now 16 more times around. Buescher on the back bumper of Ty Gibbs. I think Buescher wants that spot back after Ty Gibbs powered by him here for it. So we're going to have to keep an eye out on this one. See if, if we can get Buescher to give up a spot to Larson, that'd be great. Then I would really be in a great spot here. Of course, these drivers aren't doing things based on what I want for my fantasy team. They're running their own race, but yep, there we go. I am now tied for second, 6 points shy of the win. So we'll have to figure out where we're at. Briscoe just passed Larson, so that's going to hurt. That's going to drop me by a point. Alright, so there we go. Yep, that is going to drop me by a point. Make me not tied for second anymore. 14 laps to go. We're working our way through this one so far. Again, Byron Elliott, Buescher, Briscoe. Those are the 4 drivers inside the top 10 that I really could care a little. I couldn't care any less about when it comes to my fantasy performance. Hamlin and my guy for race picks is absolutely looking golden, though. All right, here we go. Denny Hamlin, though, out in front of the field and starting to gap Chase Elliott. I say 0.2 of a second faster that last lap by Hamlin over Elliott. Starting to stretch that one back out to a 1.5, almost 2 second gap here. Here comes Kyle Larson to the back bumper of the 19 car, starting to put some pressure on the back bumper of the 19. on that pressure to try and go for the lead. Or sorry, not for the lead. Keep trying to hype everything up like everything's for the lead. For that number 7 position. Probably because it would make it way more exciting if this was the battle for the lead, not the Denny Hamlin, Chase Elliott fest. But again, 12 laps to go. I think we've probably seen, there's a good chance we've seen our last caution based on the metrics and the data. Although there were 2 overtimes in the last 8 races here, so it is very much a possibility. Here we go, though. Keselowski trying to make some moves here as well. Keselowski closing in on Bubba Wallace. Trying to fight his way up into that top 10 for some top 10 points here. Obviously, not a big deal here, but Keselowski getting as close as he can. He wants that 1 extra point for getting 10th over 11th here. Bubba Wallace doing everything he can to try and hang on for that top 10. Again, right now, though, we've got ourselves a really good battle going here all the way through the field. Alright, so there we go. Alright, so again, right now, Keselowski trying to find out which lane Bubba's going to go to. And he's trying to go to the opposite so he can try and run some momentum up here. So Bubba all the way against the fence. Brad Keselowski down a couple of lanes, trying to go to the bottom of the racetrack, see where he can get here. Alright, so here we go. Again, we're working our way through this one, though. It's, a pretty good race going here. Alright, there we go. We now have our, the March Madness bracket is official. Alright, so again, right now, Denny Hamlin trying to break the tie with it between himself and Harvick for the 10th most all-time wins here. 60 is currently the mark they're both at. And right now, Denny Hamlin, he has gapped himself 1.3 seconds between himself and Elliott. He's got 1 lap car between them. 7 laps to go. 7 more times around here. So yeah, here we go. Coming to 5 laps to go. Chase Elliott finally clears all the lap traffic. It is a head-to-head race. 7/10 of a second separate the 2 drivers. Chase Elliott, the fan favorite. Dennis the Menace out in front of the field. It's going to be a fun fight to the finish here. 5 laps to go. 5 laps to go. Chase Elliott needs to work on gaining on Hamlin. You really need to catch him with about 2 laps to go to really set yourself up for a good shot. I think this has been a solid race so far. Yeah, it's been a really good one, honestly, in my opinion. Alright, so here we go. 4 laps to go. Chase Elliott still 7/10 of a second back. He needs to really find something here, and he needs to find something here, and he needs to find it like this lap. Or he needs Denny Hamlin to catch some of this, catch this lap car in a really bad spot, because there is 1 lap car still to come. Looks like, is that Joey Logano or Zilich? That could be a big difference between those two. But again, these last 2-3 laps, There's been very little gain on the stopwatch here. It'll be coming to 2 laps to go. 2 laps remaining. As they come off of turns 3 and 4. 2 to go. Elliott has gained about a tenth or two this time by. Elliott may have found exactly what he's looking for. And right now, Denny Hamlin does not seem to want to approach that lap car. I'm not sure who it is at the moment. I still can't see the number on the side. It's a Chevy. It is. Is that the 88? No, it's the 16 of Allmendinger. Yeah, it is the 16 of Allmendinger. So it wasn't either of the two guys I thought it was, but Denny Hamlin gets by Allmendinger, and he will take the white flag. 1 lap to go. One last shot for Elliott. Can Elliott dethrone Hamlin here? Hamlin, the dominator of the day. Chase Elliott has not led a lap today. Can he lead the most important one of the day? 1 lap to go. Down the back straightaway, half a lap to go. Hamlin into 3 and 4. I don't think Chase Elliott's going to be able to get there. Tries everything he's got through 3 and 4. And it's going to be Denny Hamlin off of 4, coming home with the checkered flag. Win number 61 for Hamlin. Elliott second. Byron, Bell, Gibbs, your other drivers inside the top 5. Buescher, Larson, Briscoe, Bubba Wallace, Brad Keselowski, Priest. Reddick falls to 12. Sorry, Reddick falls to 13th. What on earth? Reddick, come on. Tyler Reddick falls a ton there right at the very end. Whew, there we go. That was an awesome finish to the race. All right, as per usual, I will be going through the full finishing order. If you guys did just come for the race reaction, though, obviously the race is over. I will be back next week. Let's just say Trucks and O'Reilly are probably going to be up in the air. I will definitely be here for the Cup race on Sunday. O'Reilly and Trucks are just going to come down to how long my shift ends up being. Again, this past week I picked up 5 hours of overtime, including a 12-hour shift yesterday. So I will try and remember to keep you guys updated on the... I know I've been really bad about keeping you guys updated on the community tab, but I will try my best to keep you guys updated on the community tab as to what we're going to end up doing. But a lot of those decisions are going to be made night of, so... we'll keep this. If you guys would like to, Hamlin win made this race much better. Wow. And say you might be one of the first people ever to say that, but yeah. All right. Again, as per usual, we'll go through the full finishing order. But yeah, man, what a race. Again, congratulations to Denny Hamlin getting the win. Chase Elliott, a close second place finish, comes home a half second short. William Byron third. 4th will go to Christopher Bell. 5th place will go Ty Gibbs. Again, we went through most of these guys earlier. Buescher 6th. 7th, Kyle Larson. 8th, Chase Briscoe, who spent most of the days a lap down due to an early speeding penalty. Bubba Wallace for the top 10. And Brad Keselowski, the final spot inside the top 10. Ryan Preece 11th, 12th place Austin Dillon, 13th place Tyler Reddick faded on that last lap. Zane Smith 14th, and rounding out the top 15 will be Joey Logano. Ryan Blaney will be in the 12th. Ryan Blaney in the 12th car will be 16th place, 17th for Ross Chastain, 18th Daniel Suarez, 19th Austin Cindric. And rounding out your top 20 finishers today and your lead lap finishers today will be Eric Jones. John Hunter Nemechek, the first car 1 lap down in 21st position. 22nd will be Carson Hocevar. 23rd, Riley Herbst. 24th, AJ Allmendinger, the guy who got involved right at the very end of that one. Justin Allgaier in the substitution role for the 44 car comes home in the top 25. Michael McDowell, 26th. There we go. Sorry about that. 27th will go to Cole Custer. 28th, Kyle Busch. 29th, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. And rounding up the top 30 finishers today, we have Noah Gragson. Josh Berry, 31st. Connor Zilic comes home 32nd, the cause of the one and only caution on the night. Yeah, or the only caution for contact. Then we got Ty Dillon 33rd, Todd Gilliland coming home in the 34th position, Cody Ware 35th, and rounding out your 36 car field tonight will be Shane Van Gisbergen, the very last. The very last spot there for SVG. He's had an incredible start to the season. Unfortunately, that is going to absolutely hurt his record. Again, Denny Hamlin now only 2 wins away from tying former teammate Kyle Busch for 9th on the all-time wins list. This win does break a tie with him and former driver Kevin Harvick at 60 wins. Denny Hamlin now having 61 wins. Congratulations to Denny Hamlin for that one. Again, I want to try and get into doing a weekly kind of weekday show recapping the race. Unfortunately, tomorrow we just won't work. I've got a surgery tomorrow, so all should be good. It's a routine thing, but I will not be able to do much of anything content-wise tomorrow, so hopefully you enjoyed. I will see you guys next video, live stream, whatever you decide to do with this tonight. But again, schedule for next week will be up in the air, so again, just stay tuned on my social media channels and the community tab. But until next time, hopefully you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next video. Live stream, whatever you decide to do with the rest of the night. Have a great night, everybody, and goodbye!